Hello everybody, welcome back to my Daily Dose with Tim. Today is Season 1, Episode 37. This week is all about sharing my baby strategy and my favorite strategy with you, to be really honest. So, Season 1, Episode 37. Oh my god, where did the time go? I cannot believe we're 37 episodes in already. So, I'm hoping that you guys are following this particular module. It's really interesting because, it's still within the same season, but we've actually jumped around quite a few different topics already. So this week is all about lease options. And if you didn't catch the one from yesterday, make sure you start from episode 36 as well, so that the continuity is there. And I'm gonna just do a little bit of reminder every single day for you guys too, just so that you're not jumping in midway through and you're kind of going, oh, hang on a second, I'm a little lost because I didn't watch the ones before. So today we're going to talk about the execution of a lease option. As what we mentioned yesterday, a lease option, for demonstration's sake right now, we're actually using it as an exit strategy, leveraging single family properties to help people get into home ownership. And so what that really means is a lot of the times we actually see lease options as an alternative lending strategy. So for those of you who are thinking about leveraging, using, learning about this strategy to help you get to the financial goal that you want to as an investor, you're in the right place, because yesterday I shared about why this is one of my absolute favorite strategies, and it's also because of the fact that you can actually get good cash flow with it too. So with that comes with getting closer and closer to your financial freedom goals as well. So execution of a lease option, thinking about the fact that we're helping people achieve home ownerships. So by definition, they actually currently do not qualify. However, they are motivated buyers. So a lot of the times when it comes to real estate investing, or really being in real estate in general, we always say that rule number one when you're buying a property is always making money in the buy. This is one of those strategies where you could potentially get away without making money in the buy, to be really honest. However, again, we're not advocating that. What we're saying is later on when we're showing you with the deal analysis, I'm thinking maybe tomorrow or Thursday at this point, in the next couple of episodes basically, as long as the foundation is there, we can go into that. The point though is that if you're thinking about this is a tenant first or tenant buyer first approach. So what that really means is potentially you might be able to get away with not making money in the buy. And we'll show you how that works when we're doing some deal analysis. And the cool thing is I actually got a couple of live deals that I can share with you too, so that you guys can see and leveraging those deals to exercise some of the knowledge that you're learning here. So coming back here, because it is tenant first, so what that really means is that most people that will have to come through this program to get themselves into homeownership are usually the ones that currently do not qualify for traditional lending or institutional lending, and they are motivated. So again, distressed properties or property first when you're making money in the buy, the easiest way to look at it, as we all know, is to find motivated sellers, distressed sellers, and on this end, because we're looking for tenant first, so what we're looking for is motivated buyers. Okay, so motivated buyers are the ones that currently do not qualify for mortgage traditionally with the regular banks or with any sort of major lenders out there if they are working with a mortgage broker. And so for those of you who know, in North America, actually it's not just North America, these are fairly across the board criteria. However, I'm just going to speak to just Canada and US at the moment. There are three main things that every single one of us will have to hit in terms of qualifying for a traditional lending or loan, basically, or mortgages, if you want to just call it that. And we always say it's credit, income, and down payment. Okay, so I'm going to put the focal point back onto the Canadian market just for a little bit, simply because every single country still has their own minimum standards. So just given that most of the audience right now is in Canada, I still want to put a focal point on that. So what that really means is, as a lot of people know, based on Canadian laws, If you're buying your principal residence, meaning that you're going to be living in it yourself, then that means 5% down against your purchase price is more than enough. However, that is considered a high ratio mortgage, which means if you're only coming in with 5% down payment, the loan that you're taking out would equal to 95% of the purchase value, okay? And then you have your income that you gotta satisfy, and you got your credit score to satisfy. And a lot of people during COVID understand that the major, well, one of the mortgage insurers right here in Canada, CMHC, instead of 620, they basically raised it up to 680 as well as a minimum credit score. Now, if you haven't got your hands on the credit score document that Trust Your Talent has created for you, make sure you let me know. Happy to share a copy of that, because this is one of the most basic concepts that all of us needs to have and needs to be aware of, and the knowledge of that will carry you very, very far. However, the point is, these are the people that usually do not qualify for traditional lending based on one or two or all of the criteria that are currently required for them to get a traditional loan. However, they're motivated. Why are they motivated? I want you to think about this. And this is the funny thing, because we, when it comes to working on this strategy, like to work with our power team members. And as we went through it, I don't even remember which episode now. There was an episode where I said there are 7 key players that you need to have on your power team. The first 2, typically speaking, are your realtors and your mortgage brokers. And we love working with those people. And I'm just gonna put it out there. Don't let anybody tell you that you're not able to do this strategy. Don't let anybody tell you that this is illegal, because this is totally legal and this is totally doable. All you need are sophisticated, experienced, and educated mortgage brokers that are on the same page as you, that are willing to help people get them to the finish line. And there's a reason why I personally love this strategy, and it's a very emotional reason. So I'm going to give you the short version of it, because a lot of you guys know I'm an immigrant to this country, even though it's been a long time now since I've moved here. I moved to Canada in 1999. However, when I was looking to acquire my very first property right here in Canada, I didn't have my permanent resident status yet. And so the banks wanted, I think it was 35% down, and I believe that is still the case to this day. However, you need to remember, not everybody's got that kind of money, and I was in the Vancouver market. Even though the market wasn't crazy yet, it was still considerably expensive for somebody who was fresh out of school, who did not come from a very well-off family, okay? So I love this strategy for that reason, because I get to help people really pave their path into the future, and especially if homeownership is one of the goals that they want to hit. So coming back here now, they might not be qualifying for a traditional mortgage based on one or more of the 3 main criteria. All 3 of them have to come together. It's that perfect trifecta that needs to happen in order for them to get qualified. So as a result, a lot of people don't. Funny thing is, over the last almost 10 years now at this point, since we really started being active with this strategy, every time I speak to a mortgage broker, the question is typically, hey, out of 10 people that put in an application with you, how many of them actually walk away with a mortgage? And a lot of times, if they are good, and back in the days when the rules were not as tight, and this, I'm talking about anywhere between 2012 all the way to about 2016 at this point. Most people, if they're really good at what they do and they got access, their brokerage has access to good lending options, they will usually 7 out of 8 people will manage to get a loan or a mortgage when they apply. However, over the last few years now, the answers that we've been consistently getting will be, yeah, you know what, about 5 out of 10, and then some even will say, well, 3 out of 10 these days. Again, the point is, we're also here to help our power team grow their business. You got to remember, most mortgage brokers, they actually don't get paid. Actually, maybe all of them. They actually don't get paid until they actually are able to place a loan. So by that definition, we want to help them bridge the gap, because by the time they actually find out that their client does not qualify for a loan, they've already put in the time and the effort and the hours working with a lot of the lenders, presenting their clients' cases, and this is where we come in. And so your mortgage brokers that you're working with, when you offer this particular strategy, this is basically what we like to say, you're putting another tool in their tool belt. Okay, so from an execution perspective, this is the first thing you need to remember. It's the people that don't qualify based on one or more of these three criteria. So by definition, you can think about it this way. Like I mentioned earlier, new immigrants, like I was once upon a time, or even people that are looking to relocate to another city or another province and they want to hang on to their current residence. However, for whatever reason, they're just short, just a tiny bit short, or people that have bruised credit histories, or people that have not been able to save up enough money, or again, they may have some debt. So funny enough, that comes out of income. Of course it does come out of income because you need to use income to debt service. So there's a lot of different criteria that go into it, and obviously the list goes on. And one of also our personal favorite group of people to help leveraging this particular strategy would be those that are self-employed. Because did you guys know that if you're a self-employed individual, when you're qualifying for a mortgage, okay, instead of 5% down, the lenders typically want to see 10% down, if not more, if you're self-employed, okay? So just all these things, and this is why one of the biggest categories of people that actually go through the lease option or the rent-to-own programs themselves are also first-time home buyers. Because first-time home buyers, a lot of times, they start to shop, and if they have a good realtor, the realtor probably has a decent system because they don't want to waste their own time before they take the clients out shopping. So they'll connect their clients with a mortgage broker that they're working with to get pre-qualified, to make sure that by the time they're making that offer, financing is ideally not going to be a problem. And so what happens then at that point is that most people, if they get declined or they don't get qualified at that point, a lot of the times they don't actually get the advice that they need or the suggestions that they need in terms of what they actually need to fix. And this is why first-time home buyers a lot of the times will lean towards going through a lease options to get themselves set up, because we always like to say that this program is a hand up, not a hand out, especially when we're actually doing deal analysis to show you as an investor how much money you can make per deal. And this is also what we love about this strategy, is the fact that when it's done properly, you're essentially creating win scenarios. Why? Because let's go through this. First person or first people that win would be your tenant buyers, because you're helping them solve a problem. If they are not able to qualify for a traditional loan and they can come through a lease option and get them into homeownership or pave their way to homeownership, you're helping them win. Second, you win as well, because you're going to be making some good money by helping people. And the third one is if you need to bring a joint venture partner on your deal opportunities, you're also helping them make money, and that money is secured against hard assets. And if you're managing the deal, all they got to do is become the armchair investor that they want to be and let you run with it and manage the whole process. And then you will help your mortgage broker win, you'll help your realtor win because they got to go on and shop for properties, and actually you can help your lawyer win as well, because if you got a lawyer that's helping you do your transactions, this is how you can start building up the volume too. So obviously there might be other people within your power team that could win from this strategy. However, the most common ones are those 6 that I just listed out for you. And this is why we love this strategy. And so coming back here though, 3 criteria, well, we keep saying that the 3 criteria is important. However, at the same time, remember, lease option is lease with the option to purchase. And I want you guys to see this as 2 different sets of contracts, okay? And this is how we typically explain to people how a lease option would work. So for example, if we purchased a property for $350,000 today, then the fair market rent on that property, depending on the market you're in, I'm just going to give you some example numbers for now until we actually leverage real life deals in the next couple of days to show you. Let's just say that the fair market rent on that property right now, depending on the area, the condition of the property, you might be able to go anywhere between $1,850 to maybe $2,400. Okay, I'm just going to take a happy medium right now and say $2,200 at the moment. Okay, now the second part of their monthly commitment is the monthly option consideration. And how do we get there is by figuring out, first of all, what is their option to purchase price. So as we pointed out yesterday, this is very similar to you leasing a vehicle. The day you take the vehicle, drive the vehicle off that lot, you already know how long that lease contract is, number one. Number two, how much your monthly commitment is. And number three, what your buyout amount is. Except that in this particular case, if we buy a property for $350,000, and let's just say that it's going to take our tenants or tenant buyers 3 years to complete this program to get them successfully qualify for their mortgage to buy us out, their option to purchase price, let's just say, depending on the area that you are in, $380,000. Okay, we're going to go over how we figure that number out as well. Even though the government says 5%, we always create a buffer for them. So we typically leverage the 10% mark. And so what I mean by that is effectively we're going to push them towards a final down payment at the end of the 3 years of 10% against the purchase price of $380,000, which would make that $38,000. Now, every person that comes through this program needs to have what we call skin in the game. Let me ask you this. As a Canadian, as an American, as a whatever, who here does not know that in order for you to buy a property, especially the one you want to live in, you probably need to be saving some money or putting some money aside in order to put down a down payment? I think most people know that, right? And so these are the guys, as we mentioned earlier, they probably have some money saved up. It's just that it's not enough and it doesn't meet the 5% mark, for example. So for example, let's just say that they right now have $10,000 saved up. And then they will put that towards the program to secure their option to purchase contract with you. We also call their option to purchase their first right of refusal, okay? And so what that means is there is a shortfall of $28,000. Now, I don't have my calculators here with me right now. So $28,000, I'm just gonna do some quick math right now. It's a 3-year program, right? So divided by 3, so that's about 9,000 something, 9,333, and then divided by 12 months. So I'm gonna say it's roughly about, is it $785, I think, okay? I'll take my calculator out later. So this number now becomes their monthly option consideration. So on a monthly basis, their debt servicing is $29.85. So this is their monthly payment. Okay, so it becomes very simple. We're not going to do a whole deal analysis right now. I just want to give you some high level understanding before we go into it the next couple of days. So what we're looking at here now is this is their current savings, okay? And this is their skin in the game to prove to you that they are serious about becoming a homeowner. It's just that for some reason they got turned away by traditional lenders. And so at this point, the conversation when you're having it with your mortgage broker, with your bird dogs, with your wholesalers, with your realtors becomes very easy. Hey, do you have anybody that recently got rejected by traditional lenders? However, they've got $10,000 saved up, and on a monthly basis, they can afford up to $3,000 towards the purchase of their new home. That's all we have to ask, because at that point, you are now painting a what we call a tenant buyer profile to the people that can be out there now looking for these kind of opportunities for you. And this is the funny thing, is that some people will say, oh my God, $3,000 a month for a $350,000 property? I want to remind everybody that it doesn't really matter, because again, some people will say, oh wow, $3,000. A buddy of mine just bought like a $700,000 house and his mortgage payment is not even $3,000 a month. As we all know now, if you have access to the Canadian mortgage calculator, you know that that number can fluctuate based on the amortization, the interest rate, and how much down payment you put down. And so the other thing also is, if you take $350,000 and you go to Vancouver to shop, what kind of property do you think will get you for $350,000? Probably, depending on where you are, if you want to actually have a Vancouver address, you're probably looking at a very old 20, 30-year-old condo somewhere And one bedroom maybe for $350,000. However, you take that $350,000, you go to Calgary, you come to Edmonton, you might be able to get a small detached single family home. And you take that all the way to St. John, New Brunswick, for example. What do you get? You probably will be able to get a sixplex, a sevenplex, an eightplex, depending on how much work is needed, okay? So the point that I'm looking to make with everybody here is that it has nothing to do with the type of properties. It has everything to do with the numbers. Once again, it goes back to everything we've been talking about, is that yes, we are real estate investors. However, what that means is we are investors first and foremost, leveraging real estate as our main vehicle to create cash flow and long-term wealth. So that being said, this is what I wanted to share with you guys today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you're getting lots out of this. Please like, share, love the video with anybody that you like, love, and share the video with anybody that you think can benefit from this. And I look forward to continuing this with you over the next few days as well. Every single day during the week, Monday to Friday, I'll be coming to you Facebook Live right here on my page at 4:30 p.m. Pacific Time, 5:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope you enjoyed this session today. We're going to carry on tomorrow, and have a great evening. Live well, everybody.